Today in the Audio Hotline studio, we have something a little bit different. If you've ever watched this channel before, you know it's about audio gear. It's the Audio Hotline, you know? Well, in the current world that we live in, one thing that goes hand in hand with audio is video. But today we're not talking about cameras. More specifically, we're talking about lighting. And even more specific to that, we're going to be talking about one light. The light I'm going to be reviewing and talking about today is from GVM. It is their 15-inch bi-color edge light. Now, I know for all you audio lovers out there, it might seem a little weird, but hold on. So maybe you're a podcaster that wants to start a video podcast. Maybe you're a gamer that wants to show your face and not just your screen. Or maybe you're just, in general, a content creator or a YouTuber, whatever you want to call it. I get quite a few comments that are about what camera I use, what lighting I'm using, something related to video. So since a lot of the subscribers here are not only interested in audio, but also video, and since they go hand in hand, I figured it might be a nice little change of pace to review something like this. But the reason I wanted to review this light specifically is because I do feel like it appeals more to, the gamer, the video podcaster, and people like that. But enough rambling from Mr. Rambleton 5000. So let's just go ahead and get mic'd and get lit. Welcome all audio and video nerds to the Audio Hotline, and as I said before, we have the GVM 15-inch Edge bi-color light. And yes, I am currently getting lit by the light that we're talking about, the GVM. One thing that Past Bronson forgot to mention conveniently is that GVM actually sent this light over for review. They do not get to see this video before I release it or anything like that. They do not get any say in what I say. They were just like super cool about it, and they were like, hey, you want to review this? And I was like, yeah. So thank you to GVM for sending this over. I do appreciate that. Now let's get back to the other guy. Now when it comes to the usual setup that I use for lighting, this is a lot less extensive, but honestly, I feel like it's producing a good look. Usually I'm using Aperture products, the 120D Mark II and the Light Dome 2. And that's one thing I will say though, is like the softer that my lights got, like the bigger the light got, the more people would comment and be like, wow, your video looks really good. So a 15-inch light like this isn't going to create the exact same look as the setup that I usually have. But where the 15-inch light really beats bigger setups is how convenient and how small it is. And I haven't even told you the part that audio people are gonna love. It comes with a desk mount. Yes, you can have your light just set up on your desk like you would your microphone boom arm. And it's just ready to go, no light stands needed, no giant softboxes, nothing. So that's one reason I did think it would be very appealing to, gamers and video podcasters is they already have their stuff, like right around their desk, ready to go. So just clamping a light onto your desk and getting substantially better lighting, such an awesome option. Some people might be a little bit hesitant when it comes to the price of this light. The 15-inch edition is in fact $200. They do have a 10-inch version that is $139. So depending on your space, how you want it to look, and your budget, it might steer you one size or the other. Today, I'll test this light out in a couple different situations, but first, let's go ahead and cover what comes with the light. The GVM bi-color Edge video light comes with a desktop light stand. This comes with a power adapter and cable, a padded carrying case, a limited 1-year warranty, and of course, you get the bi-color 15-inch soft light itself. Now, when it comes to the accessories, I've got to say that I love them. A big part of why I wanted to review this was the fact that it did come with a desktop stand. The padded carrying case, I think, is such a big selling point for this, especially for podcasters or YouTubers that want to travel but want to bring a light like this. It doesn't come with a traditional tripod light stand, but I don't think that's really the audience they were going for with this. And when it comes to the light itself, it's honestly surprisingly sturdy and kind of heavy. It's not like ridiculously heavy, but you can tell it's just like metal. There is a plastic plate on the back that you can put batteries in and adjust your lighting options. I would prefer it to be metal. I'd prefer it to not be plastic, but I think it's okay. But now that we've talked about the accessories and some of the build quality, let's go ahead and talk about some features. The GVM bi-color Edge light Comes with 2 stepless adjustable dials on the back, one to adjust the intensity of the light. You can adjust the color temperature on this light from 3200 Kelvin to 5600 Kelvin. By the 2 adjustable knobs, there is a screen that will show exactly what your settings are. On the back of this, there are 2 battery plates that you can put Sony-style NPF batteries. This has a CRI and TLCI rating of 97. You can also download an app so you can control this light with your smartphone. This light has 256 LEDs and is capable of 60 watts. Back when I started doing video and everything, I went hard into the NPF batteries. So I was really happy that this did have that NPF option also. Between the nice carrying case, the desk stand, being able to take NPF batteries, this thing becomes really easy to travel with and set it up wherever. If it did come with like a traditional light stand, it would have made it even better in that right. But you can get some light stands that could easily support this weight, no problem, for very cheap. Another thing that I was very excited about was being able to dial in your color temperature. Sometimes I like doing photos and videos outside and everything, and sometimes you just want a little extra light on like a subject's face or an object. So being able to go out there and dial in the correct temperature is awesome. But now that we've talked about the accessories and the features, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use this light, and we'll also do some tests. So right now I have the light at 5600 Kelvin, and that's exactly what I have set as my white balance in my camera. So now I'll just slowly turn the color temperature to 3200 Kelvin, and you'll see this scene get a lot warmer. It's going to look like I'm in the sun. I'm going to be getting a tan. So as you can tell, I look a lot more orange right now. So now I'm going to turn the camera to 3200 Kelvin, and then we'll go back up. I do want to disclaim while we're doing this test that every camera does handle white balance a little bit different, so this isn't perfectly scientific, just an example. I'm blue, now I look really blue. Cool. So one thing I'm going to do right now is that I'm shooting at an f1.8, which means that my lens is letting a lot of light in. During this video, I've only been actually set at 28% on this light. And just as a quick note, I'm at ISO 400 in C-Log. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to like f2.8, f4, f8, and we're going to see how much this light can compensate for me essentially stopping down. Since everyone doesn't have an f1.8 lens or anything, I just figured this would be a good way to show you how this light can compensate when your lenses stop down. So right now I'm at f2.8 on a full frame camera, and I'm actually only at 40% on this light, so we have a lot left in the tank. So right now my camera says that I'm perfectly exposed. I'm at an f4 full frame equivalent, and I'm at 60% on the light. Now I'm at the full frame equivalent f5.6, and I'm at 85% on the light. So right now I'm maxing the light out at 99%, and it's saying I'm about a stop underexposed, which is easy to combat. So now I'm at an f8, and I did bump up my ISO from 400 to 800, and now it's saying that this is perfectly exposed. The reason I wanted to do this test in general is to see if like maybe this light just works because I have some fast lenses. But I feel like a full frame f8 equivalent would be pretty easy to match with a lot of cameras. So basically, this light is bright enough. It can do it. Not everyone who's going to be interested in this light has a camera, so I did want to do a test with my iPhone. This is an iPhone 12 Pro, but to kind of make the image a little bit worse, I'm actually using the front-facing camera. I'm doing that for a reason though. I just want to see how much this light can improve the image. So right now I'm just using the regular house lights, the overhead lights. So now I'm going to turn the GVM light on and we'll see how it looks. And this is with the GVM light on. You can definitely tell a substantial difference. It actually looks pretty good. I'm honestly a little bit surprised. Not that I didn't think it'd be good, but I'm surprised. This is my new setup. This is it. Maybe you want to get your video looking better for your Zoom calls or something. This is definitely a light you could do it with. I know what test you want me to do. I know the question that you're asking yourself. Will this light improve my cat photos? Only one way to find out. Now, one additional test that I was going to do is check battery life on this light. I actually had it all figured out, had a cute little time lapse of it, but some stuff happened. I may have accidentally formatted the hard drive that it was on. And by accidentally, I mean like I literally just formatted it, forgot it was on there, so cool. But I do have the stats that are associated with the battery life when you're using different Sony NPF batteries. So let me just quickly read those for you. So the first thing you need to know about this light is you actually cannot use it with only one battery in it. You do have to have two in. I thought that was a little bit odd and I was kind of surprised by that, but oh well. During all of these tests, I was actually using the DSTE NPF batteries. I'll link them down below. So with the smallest version of the NPF battery, the 550, it had 2900 milliamp hours and 21.5 watt hours. And with two of them in that light, it actually ran for 55 minutes and 12 seconds. The next size up of the NPF battery is the 770, and the model that I was using had 5200 milliamp hours and 38.5 watt hours. And this ran for nearly an hour and 45 minutes with two of them in it. The next test that I ran was with my NPF 970 battery, which is pretty big. This battery had 8,800 milliamp hours and 65.12 watt hours. So with two of those in this light, it ran for 171 minutes and 20 seconds. Now I know that this isn't an exact science and that batteries can be affected in different ways. Even if you take it with a grain of salt though, roughly the smallest NPF batteries, you're gonna get about an hour. The medium ones, you're gonna get an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then the big NPF batteries, you could get 2.5 to even 3 hours. For this test, I just wanted to show you the directionality of the light, just so you know how it responds to different distances from your subject. So I just wanted to give you a real quick example of what I usually shoot with. However, I'm not using my Aperture 120D Mark II right now. I'm actually using the GVM LS P80S. GVM did not send me this light. I've actually had it for a while, but I still am using my Aperture Light Dome 2. In this shot, I'm not using a fill at all. It's just literally the monosource light and the softbox. I'll put a different clip of the GVM bicolor edge light on the screen as well. And while you're looking and comparing this, let me just tell you one thing about the edge light. When it comes to these LED panel lights, they have 256 LEDs in them. And the way that these work is that half of them handle, tungsten color, the 3200 Kelvin, and the other half handle the 5600 Kelvin. And so when you're actually dialing that in, you're not just like magically having the LEDs change themselves. You're just controlling which ones are on and which ones are off, or how intense they are. So when it comes to getting maximum output for the edge light, I've noticed that 4400 Kelvin is where it is definitely the brightest, which makes sense. It's in the middle of 3200 and 5600 Kelvin. So since you're mixing the two color temperatures and it's right in the middle, all of those LEDs are on and fully bright. So if you do decide to get the edge light and in some circumstance it's not bright enough for you, try setting your camera's white balance to 4400 Kelvin and switching the light to 4400 Kelvin, and you should get a pretty bright result. Well, now that we've talked about the accessories, the features, and did some testing, now I'm going to go ahead and get to my review, my opinion of the GVM bicolor edge light. So when I talk about my opinion of this light, it's purely based off of my experience creating these YouTube videos and some other small videos that I've done for other people. Hello. And you wonder why I always have hair on my windscreens. One thing I will say though is if I got this light at the beginning of when I was creating YouTube videos, I would have been so happy with it. Like I've talked about, the convenience of having it on your desk ready to go, and the fact that it is like a relatively big light, especially for like an LED panel style light. 15 inches is a good size and it definitely creates a soft look. But I was very surprised by this light and what it's capable of doing, the portability of it. I like the features that it has. Would it be cool if it was RGB? Would it be a bonus? Absolutely. Like, that'd be sweet. But I have no problem with it being bicolor. Like I've said before, I'm usually using daylight balanced or, tungsten lighting. So the fact that it's only bicolor doesn't bug me. Bottom line though, if it has the features that you like and you think that the images in this video have looked good, I'd say get it. But I will say if you do have some more space and you don't have to be so space conscious, getting a bigger light dome with like a mono light source it's hard to beat. GVM has one that's available. It's the LSP80S, but getting that with like an aperture lantern or the GVM version of the lantern, there's just a really gorgeous look to a monosource light with a big softbox on it. It just looks really nice. Given the fact that this is smaller, more convenient, and everything, like, it is amazing for the price. But the combination of getting the GVM light and a softbox and a stand and everything, it would probably be a little bit more money, but you're pretty close in price. But as I mentioned before, space and how you're going to be using the light and what you need it to look like, all of those are big factors, and it's just something that you need to decide for yourself. But I definitely do recommend the GVM bicolor edge light. Thank you for watching this review of the GVM 15-inch edge light. I hope that it helped you out, helped you decide whether you want to get one of these or not. Most of all, I hope you had fun. Don't worry, exclusive audio lovers that hate video. More reviews are coming out for you. Thank you to everyone that subscribes to this channel. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And a big thank you to GVM for sending me this light to review. I really do appreciate it. And once again, thank you all for watching the Audio Hotline. I'll see you audio and video nerds next time.